Welcome to Design Santa Barbara. I'm Michael Kurosh, and today we are in Santa Barbara Design Center, preparing to head to a very interesting local event. You know, I'm a car guy, and here in Santa Barbara, collectors own some of the coolest cars in the world. A group of them have gotten together, and every Sunday they meet to share their passion and some caffeine. Let's head over to Santa Barbara Cars and Coffee. Good morning, Monty.
Welcome to Cars and Coffee, Michael.
Thank you for having me today. So today we are at Cars and Coffee in Santa Barbara, and we are with Monty Wilson, and it's actually a huge crowd. Tell me about it, how this thing started.
It's gotten bigger and bigger. So we started this 9 years ago. And when we started it, we thought we might get 15, maybe 20 cars on a good day. And little did we know that it's grown into a couple hundred cars every Sunday morning.
It's a beautiful event, and I see you're growing. Where are you going to go from here?
Well, we started on Coast Village Road. We outgrew that, and we moved to the upper village of Montecito. We outgrew that, and now we're here at La Cumbre Mall, and we still got some room to grow, but there have been a couple times where it's all the way out to the street, full of cars.
Amazing, beautiful cars, and I'm a car guy. I love cars, but it's hard to get up 8 a.m. in the morning on a Sunday and come out here. And I says Cars and Coffees, but you need the coffee before you get up.
Well, the coffee helps get you going a little bit, but you know, the cars are great. We have a wide variety. Everybody's welcome, so you see everything from hot rods to classics to exotics and just about everything in between. But as cool as the cars are, the people are fantastic. It's turned into a real community.
And probably we're going to go talk to a few of them, and tell me what is so special about these Cars and Coffee in Santa Barbara.
Well, you know, Santa Barbara, Southern California car culture, right? And the thing that we're blessed with here in Santa Barbara is, you know, there's so many cars that there's only maybe a handful in the entire world, and we'll have a couple of them here. You're going to see a couple ones today, and we've got actually a couple surprises for you, because people always think of cars with guys. We have a large women contingent as well.
Well, I bet our viewers would love to see that. Can
Absolutely.
you give us a tour?
Let's go for a tour.
There we go. All right, so we are here with one of my all-time favorite cars, the 300 SL Goldwing, and it's the most iconic Mercedes, I think, of all times.
It really is. These are fascinating cars, but this particular car has a really fun story. So the owner is Peter Meyer, and he actually was picking this up for the buyer, got the car back to Santa Barbara. The new buyer gets into the car, pulls the Goldwing down, bangs his head, realizes he's too big to fit in the car. Offered it to Peter for, you know, at today's price, very, very low price. And Peter's
I heard $3,000.
Something like that, yeah.
Well,
yeah. And it's
that's
worth
a good investment.
little bit more than that these days. But you know, this is a great example of some of the cars we have here, like this Goldwing, and they got this beautiful rod next door, and so you really get a great mix of things. So, you know, from a design standpoint, you can kind of see in the older cars, you know, how airplanes and rockets and aerospace and all that was all part of the design element, to rods where it's really just all about creativity.
Absolutely, this is also a fantastic looking car.
Yeah.
So let's talk to the owner if we can find him.
Let's go find Peter.
All right, now we have the owner of this beautiful Mercedes. Peter, thank you for showing us your car.
You're welcome.
Tell us a little bit about it. I've seen you actually drive this car, which I admire. People drive their cars they should.
Yeah, I do. That's true.
Tell me about it. How'd you get up getting it?
How did I get it? When I first came to Santa Barbara, I worked for Audio Vision. And Dan Clark, the owner, had a couple of Ferraris and one of the Goldwing. So he says, see if you can find me a Goldwing. I said, okay. I bought this in Baytown, Texas, drove it back. He got in the car and closed the door, and I hit him in the head. He was too tall-waisted. He couldn't use the car. So that's when I bought it from him in 1970. And I restored it and did all the mechanical work myself and took it to Arizona and have the rest of the work done. So here it is.
It's a beautiful example, and it is wonderful that you drive it.
Oh yeah, I love it. It's getting a little loud and a little stiff suspended at my age, you know, but...
The car or you?
Well, let's say both. Huh? Okay.
Well, anyway, thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, now we found my dear friend Angel Martinez here, and he has this fantastic Volvo. So
Thank you. It's a 1964 P1800S. It's a all original car. It's an amazing condition.
I couldn't believe it. Yes, this looks like they never drove it.
Practically not. It's got very low miles, and but it drives like a new car. It's wonderful. Amazing car.
It's a beautiful looking car. I hope it doesn't drive like a brand new car.
It's got a little more noise, vibration, and rumble, which is the best part.
That's it.
That's the best part.
Not too many people know you collect cars and you have fantastic cars, but what do you like about this particular one?
Well, you know, I had one of these. I don't know. I was probably 22 years old when I had one. It was a 71.
19.
Oh, I don't want to
No,
go
say
back.
it.
I can't remember. And it was a really great car, and stupidly I sold it. As we can all say, all us car guys have that. How many times have you said that? Stupidly I sold it.
Well, you and I trade cars back and forth quite a bit too.
That's right. Oh yeah, there's the I'll buy it back because I really was stupid when I sold it to you.
I'll pay you a lot more for it.
Well, yeah, that's what tends to happen. But no, and I've always thought these were beautifully designed cars. They were originally designed in England, made in the Jensen factory where they made Jensen Healey's and Jensen Interceptors and those cars. And then in 1964, production was moved back to Sweden. The Swedes had a little higher quality control sort of standard than the Brits did at the time. And this is one of the very early 64s.
Made in Sweden.
Made in Sweden.
So it doesn't fall apart, the
That's
electric
why
works.
it's still here. Probably.
Okay.
Well, isn't this model car the one that set the record for mileage?
This model car, yeah, a fellow named Irv Gordon drove a P1800 for 3 million miles, over 3 million miles. Original owner, drove a P1800 Volvo for 3 million miles. Has a record.
So that's like going around the world
longevity.
100 times.
I don't know where he drove. I
Yeah.
mean, how do you drive 3 million miles? He must have driven to the bathroom.
Maybe he works for Uber.
Now, what's the S stand for? Because that's unique on this car as well.
Yeah, it's an 1800S. So when they moved the cars back to Sweden, the S stood for Sweden.
Oh.
Not for sport or any of that stuff. So it was to designate the previous P1800, which was made in England.
Well, Angel, it's a beautiful car. Thanks for taking the time to show it to us.
Very much. Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right, so what do we have here?
2003 Ferrari 360 Spider.
That's one beautiful color, actually. Unusual on a Ferrari, isn't it?
Thank you. Yes. Yeah. Rare Grigio Titanium. So
One more time?
Grigio Titanium.
You need to
so
get a
titanium
PhD to
silver.
learn that. Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the Italian flair to titanium silver.
You have to have a lot of hand
Yes, a lot of
gestures.
hand
there
gestures when you say
yeah,
that color.
yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So tell us about it. How did you get it?
So I found it a year ago at a exotic car dealer here in Los Angeles, and the original owner lived in Newport Beach, only drove it 12,000 miles in 16 years, so barely put any miles on it. So it was a one-owner car when I bought it, and I've added another 2,000 miles every Sunday driving from Santa Barbara to Ventura and back. And
That's
that's
about
it.
it.
It only comes out on Sunday mornings. Other than that,
Yeah.
it sits in the garage.
Now, Greg is one of the original participants and really helped organize Cars and Coffee when we started 9 years ago.
9 years ago, yeah. 9 years ago, Monty put out feelers on the internet saying, hey, I'm going to start this car gathering here in Santa Barbara. Anybody want to show up? And that's how I met him. And yet we were 6 guys standing in front of a coffee shop looking for other people. And I think for the first 6 months, nobody showed up. It was
It is
just
fantastic
us.
event, actually. I'm
Yeah.
actually flabbergasted by the size of it. I never thought it's that many cars.
And the variety. Look at how
Yes.
many different types of cars. You know, today we walked over and saw a 63 Thunderbird that the woman who owns it drove in high school. It's still her
Oh my goodness.
same car, right?
We should talk to her
Fully
too.
restored. Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful.
So the variety of people and cars is really what makes me come back every single week. I can't miss a week.
No, I will come back too, and I encourage all the viewers to come back and look at all these beautiful cars and bring their cars too. It's a
Well,
good
we got
addition.
one more car we want to show you right
okay.
over here.
Oh, let's see. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Good, yourself?
All right, wonderful. So this beautiful Porsche is yours.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, it's a 1970 Porsche, and I've had it since '84.
1984.
Yes, I've had it a long time, and we've used it to do many rallies with. And as you can see from the sticker there on the hood. We did a couple in Baja, California, the first ones that were run down there. We were part of that.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And yeah, it was a
You
lot
drove
of
this thing in a rally in Baja?
fun.
Oh my goodness,
Twice
all
in
right.
14 and 15. We did it. The Mexican government now, they opened it up to us. The roads were no speed limits, and the federales were great.
Awesome.
So we had a great time.
Beautiful. So you drive it every day or?
No, I usually just bring it up here on Sundays, now, yeah, or if we go on like a car, any type Monterey or something like that.
You drive it up
Yeah.
there. It's a beautiful car. Thank you, sir, very much for being on our show.
Well, thank
Appreciate
you.
it. All right.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you. All right, so tell us a little bit about the charity work you do.
You know, that's the thing I think we're probably most proud of is that, you know, Cars and Coffee just isn't about the cars, it isn't about the people, but it's giving back to the community. So we've got one event coming up here on September 22nd at the Polo Grounds for the Montecito Motor Classic. And that show is really, it's going to have cars from the Peterson Museum. It's going to have, you know, all sorts of just collector cars, exotic cars. This year the theme is 50 years of hypercars. Those are the best of the best. We also do the Rally for Kids, which is the single largest fundraiser of the year for the Boys and Girls Club. And this year raised almost $300,000 net back to the Boys and Girls Club. And then we also do things with the Unity Shop and just try and help and give back to the community.
That's all wonderful and great. That's what the date is again for the rally?
So the Montecito Motor Classic is on September 22nd, so it's literally coming up in a couple weeks. Then the Rally for Kids is always the last weekend in April.
And I bet you our viewers going to be there. So that's wonderful and great. And when we come back, let's talk to some of the women owners.
We have some women here that brought some special cars out.
Love to see them. Today I would like to talk to you about rugs. 3 important things to remember when you are buying a rug. First is the size. Size is very important, and this is what you have to do your study. So if it's for a living room, I recommend to have the front legs of all the furniture to sit on the certain rug you're buying. So go measure it. Make sure you have at least a foot extended beyond the front legs. If you can afford it, get a rug that encompasses all the furniture to be sitting on it. So usually for a living room, you're talking an 8x10, 9x12, a bigger living room, 10x14, and if you want something to sit on it, 12x15 or 12x18. Second, there is a style. It is very important that the style you pick matches the house you have. Check the room. Is it a traditional house? Is it a modern house? Is it a transitional house? You pick the style matching your house and your living style. Lastly, and one of the most important steps, is the type of rug you're gonna buy. I highly recommend you to do your study and see what type of rug is good for your situation. Most rugs I recommend are hand knotted. So these are the type of rugs that they're done by hand. They're mostly natural fibers. They don't have any chemicals. They don't have any machines involved making it. They're hand knotted and they get more valuable over the time, and they're very durable and long lasting. These are 3 things to remember when you're buying a rug. Thank you for joining us.
Welcome to Rugs & More. We provide the West Coast with the most comprehensive collection of new, oriental, and antique rugs. Rugs are solid art investments and often become cherished family treasures. Our limitless inventory will warm up your home. Exotic or traditional, tribal or modern, our rugs weave stories through intricate patterns, compelling colors, and touchable materials. Number 1 in Santa Barbara for over 20 years. Visit us today at Rugs & More, 410 Olive Street in Santa Barbara.
I am Michael Kourosh, and my passion is helping you create the home of your dreams at the lowest possible price. If you or anyone you know has just purchased a home or reinventing a living space, we have whatever you need right here. We founded Santa Barbara Design Center to give our community a place where you will always find an open door, a friendly smile, and fabulous prices on rugs and home furnishings. Come to 410 Olive Street to see the latest in design, and let's start this journey together. Welcome back to Design Santa Barbara. Today we are at Cars and Coffee with Monty Wilson and some lovely ladies with their fabulous cars. Maybe
You know,
Monty.
Michael, these ladies all have their own cars and they come out every Sunday. I want to introduce you to Lisa, Davis, and Maria. So let's start down with Lisa. And Lisa, you've got something very special right behind us here.
Oh yeah, this is our 1959 Fiat Jolly that we just recently had remodeled and renovated and brought to the Santa Barbara community. It's a fun car. We're really enjoying it, having that beachy Santa Barbara feel to it. So it's been a blast, and we're doing other micro cars in this community, and we enjoy bringing it out every Sunday, sharing it with the crowd. The kids love it, of course. Actually, everyone loves these cars. So
It's kind of a happy car. You just get a smile on your face when you see it.
Car.
Now, Davis, you tend to go a little bit faster with Porsches.
Yeah, my husband and I own a 911, and he likes to drive it very fast. Luckily.
Blame it on him, huh?
I'm going to blame it on him, although I do enjoy driving it. I don't know, there's something about this community. It's great. The women all love cars. We've kind of created a family here. We'll go out driving together. We go on cruises down, have coffee, go have lunch, and do all these events together. We have a really great time.
Great.
Yeah.
And Maria, now there's only less than 100 Jollies in the world, and you and Lisa have two of them here in Santa Barbara, so tell us a little bit about your car.
So mine is a 1960 Fiat Jolly. It's a little bit older than Lisa's. And, younger, you're right. And
Younger than me.
so
Say that.
luckily my car we found at an auction, and we've been looking for quite a few years. Very lucky to have it. It's in great condition. Every now and then we have to tweak it a little bit. Things break down, but that's okay. We just fly out to Italy, get the part, come back, right? But we enjoy the Jolly. We both have done drives with it. We've brought it to events. It's a fun car.
Now, what is the history of the Jolly?
The chairman of Fiat back in the 50s decided he needed a car to take him from his yacht to his Mediterranean villa. So they chopped off the top and made this beautiful car. It became so popular. They made quite a few. Now there are less than 100, and a lot of them have rusted out, and so these have been conserved, and so we're holding on to these cars forever.
Kind of a fun little fact, Michael, when you talk about design, the coach builder Ghia, which you're probably familiar with from a design standpoint, designed the Jollies and built those 4 Fiat.
That's amazing. It's a beautiful car. Is that for Chris Agnelli, or what was that for? The chairman of Fiat you mentioned, right?
Agnelli.
Agnelli, yes.
Yeah.
That guy probably had a lot of fun with those cars.
I'm sure he did. Yes.
Thank you for being on our show. I appreciate it. Thank you for showing off your fantastic cars. Here we are with Rhonda and her beautiful Ford Falcon. Tell us a little bit about it. I hear you have this thing for a while.
Yes, it was my very first car. I bought it when I was 18 years old.
And that was a few years ago, like 3?
Oh, sure,
All
sure.
right.
So, no, it's just been an absolute dream to drive. It's fun. It puts a smile on my face as well as everyone else's face. It's been in the family for, over 30 years.
Now, you probably have some fun stories to tell in this car. What's the longest drive you've ever taken it on?
Oh my, well, from Portland to the Bay Area when I moved in 1985.
It is in immaculate condition. Do you take care of it all the time? Once in a while you restore it?
It's been a daily driver since I've owned it, and it's been repainted a few times in the interior, and we've gone through everything.
And what's the mileage on it, may I ask?
I don't really remember. At some point, the odometer
few
stopped
hours.
working.
I see. Okay.
So it's well over 100,000.
Wonderful.
Well, the fun thing about old cars is that you really don't know. I think the answer would probably be it depends. You're talking about the engine, you're talking about the chassis.
Exactly.
Because cars tend to go through iterations.
Yes, absolutely. Because there was a few years ago where the engine caught on fire, and it was a stock engine, and unfortunately we weren't able to find a new one, so it was time to upgrade her, and so now she has a little 302.
A better engine.
Yes.
All right.
Little zip in her get-go.
Well, Rhonda, keep running strong. Thank you for bringing the car out today.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. Today on Design FYI, we're going to talk about what not to buy when you're going shopping for rugs. Most big outlets or national chains, they sell nowadays hand-tufted rugs. This sounds like it's hand knotted, it's done by hand, but actually they are not. It's called hand-tufted and is actually a gun that rolls the wool around the warp, and they are not good rugs at all. So this is a sample we're having here for you to see. Anything that has a backing like this, flip your rugs over at home, see if it has a backing, is absolutely not good. So what it does is it hides what they did below this thing, which is a latex glue, which actually is toxin. And if you have got any rugs over the net, I hate to say it, over the net, because it's easy to sell and they're inexpensive, you buy these things over the internet. So when it comes to your house, they smell. Have you noticed that? They smell more like a gasoline or more like a diesel because they don't let the latex cure. And the latex that glues this wool to this backing smells a lot. On top of that, they shed quite a lot. The wool is cheap because they need to be inexpensive and they shed. I would not recommend you to get anything, again, that has a backing and is glued because it comes apart very easily. It is temporary. It is not a green product because they wear very quickly, end up in the fill, and just basically as a landfill junk we are adding to our planet. The things I would recommend you to get, unlike these things that have backing, is the rugs that they have nuts to them. So as what to buy, I highly recommend you to get some rugs that they are hand knotted. And how you can see, flip it to the back and you can see the knots are done individually and each one is slightly different than the next one because they're done by hand and the intensity of the wool and the pull they have, the weaver, makes them look different. Also the sides are done by hand. That you can see very easily. If you want to buy a real rug, please come to Santa Barbara Design Center and I can gladly help you. Thank you for joining us on Design FYI, Santa Barbara Design Center, Fort and Olive. My grandfather taught me about the beauty of the rugs. Each one tells a story. Story about the person who wove it, the person who bought it, the person who inherits it, the person who treasures it. It's amazing how simply looking at an object can bring you back to a different place and time, or remind you of someone you love. At Santa Barbara Design Center, we want to help you find a rug that will travel through time with your family for generations to come. Visit us at 410 Olive Street and find your treasure today. So here we got David Green, one of my old acquaintances, and he has this fantastic Porsche, which we're going to talk about.
Yeah, it's a 1959 356A. It's the last of the early cars. It's a pretty iconic look. This kind of car is often used in ads because of the beauty of it, the industrial design. This one I found in Anchorage, Alaska, of all places, and had it shipped here. It was restored in the early 90s by a Porsche collector, and then he sold it to a friend who loved the design of it and put it in his family room as art for 10 years.
In the living room?
In a family room. Yeah, in a
yes.
family room in Spokane, Washington,
wow.
Just to look at it. And then it got out of the house, and I ended up with it out of Alaska.
Now, David, this car's also done pretty well on the show circuit.
Yeah, this car is a very high-level restoration. Everything about it is proper, all the right pieces, and it's been on in a number of concours events and rallies. It came in second at the annual Porsche Works reunion in Monterey in 2017 in the 356 class. So it's a widely acknowledged, very high-level car.
Now, you've also got another 356 that has probably one of the most fascinating stories I've seen.
Yeah, it's a 53. It's a very original car with the exception of a paint job. And my good friend's uncle bought it brand new in November of 1953 from a fellow who ultimately became a famous race car driver in LA. They drove the car until the 70s. Then it got put away, had mechanical problems. It was in a garage in Northridge, California. when the earthquake hit. And the building was badly damaged and dumped house paint off the shelves onto the car, but they couldn't get to it.
Oh.
And so the car has white house paint all over it from the earthquake. But it's, with the exception of the paint, it is almost 100% original car and has now become what's called a reference car. People come from Europe, people from Australia last week to photograph and measure parts of the car because there are very few original cars left.
All right.
Good.
Thank you, David.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay, good seeing
See
you,
you, my
Michael.
friend.
Okay.
Monty, thank you very much for having us in this beautiful Sunday, and it is fantastic crowd, nice cars. So how do our viewers get to know about your Cars and Coffee and join your group?
Well, first of all, Michael, we're honored to have you out here today, so thanks for coming out. But if you want to learn more, go to our Facebook page, it's Santa Barbara Cars and Coffee. And it's not only a good thing to know what's going on with Cars and Coffee, but we try and make sure that everybody's aware of what's happening in the car community.
And you do also charities which they can go join at Facebook and get to know more and drive their cars for it.
But
Very wonderful.
if you want to come out, we're here every Sunday. We start around 8 o'clock till 11 o'clock. And it's a very casual environment. There's no registrations, nothing, no fees or anything. Just come out and join the community.
Beautiful. I will be back and looking forward to have another segment with you and the cars.
We'd love to have you back.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.